All right, we're live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or should I say good Friday? Good Friday morning to everybody. If you jump on in, make sure you say hello. Let me know you're out there. I'm going to wait another minute or two, and then we'll get started on this week's weekly wrap-up. Got a lot to cover today. Hope everybody's having a good week. It is Good Friday, Easter weekend. How is everyone doing? Now, obviously, you notice that I'm starting this much later than I normally do. So we're going to test this out and see how many of you show up. Judy, good morning to you. Good morning. Hey, Judy, I got your email. Just FYI. So working on that. Tommy, how are you? Good morning. Hope you're staying warm up there. Appreciate you guys coming on, ladies. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna wait here just another minute, and we'll get started. So bear with me. Like I said, I'm starting this much later than I'm used to. So wanted to just kind of test out the times for several reasons because I'm gonna be traveling. So it's gonna be later the next couple of weeks probably. So beautiful day. Well, good. It's the sun's out, but the wind's whipping about 15 miles an hour right now out here. So, as nice as it looks, you step outside and it's still quite cold. So, all right, let's get started. If you jump on or you watch this later on, leave a comment, say hello. Would love to see you guys out there. Bow tie Friday. You know, I almost forgot to put it on today. Judy, great love the retirement. Can't wait to hear. Oh, hey, happy Easter to you too, Judy. Thank you. All right, we're gonna get started. Hey, it's Friday, but it's Good Friday. It's Easter weekend, and for all of my fellow brothers and sisters that follow in Christ. I'm going to start the show off a little bit differently today. I'm going to start off with a Bible passage. I think it ties in quite nicely since it is Good Friday, and this comes from 1 Peter 2:24. He himself bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that we might die to sins and live for righteousness. By his wounds, you have been healed. A lot of us know Christ died on the cross today, and 3 days from now he will rise. So I thought that was appropriate. It being Good Friday and Easter weekend, I wanted to start the show off with that. So God bless all of you, and thank you all for being here today, this morning. Still morning? Yes, this morning. So we're going to dive into it. April's a new month, right? April is a new month. And first off, happy birthday to all you April babies out there. But April is also the month of the military child. And I want to recognize that very quickly because a lot of people tend to overlook military kids. So what better way than really to start off with the first podcast of the week is MSEC podcast. Military kids are taking over the podcast this month or this week. And the host this week is Tatiana is her name. And student-to-student alumni Bailey interviews our student host for MSEC podcast this week for the month of the military child, Tatiana. You can hear about their experience as military children, share their ideas about how to celebrate the month of the military child, and also how they support their parents with PTSD. I want you guys to think about that for a second. Think about the kids supporting the parents who have PTSD. I think that off gets shadowed quite a bit. So check that out. That's this week's MSEC podcast. You can go to Military Child Education Coalition to check them out as well. They got a slew of resources for active duty military personnel over there. Check that out. Next up, we got the Ubaldi reports. Several topics that they are talking about this week. Let me try this again. Transgender, race, and immigration issues. Big topic right now that hit this week. Pay to drive, and then the COVID-19 origin and how that all ties in. These guys put on a great show. It's all facts, none of the fluff, no fiction. They hit both sides. It's very down the middle. And it's a very educational show. So I would encourage you guys to check it out. This one's called the Ubaldi Reports. Oh, excuse me. Let me see here. Next up, push through this. We got the Arms Room show. The Arms Room this week talked about getting the most out of shooting and training by yourself. How many people go out and train by yourself right now? If you have a firearm, do you go to the range by yourself? What do you do when you're out on the range? Do you just sit there and just try to blow rounds or whatnot? Or do you practice certain things? I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It's the Arms Room show. If you guys are looking to train in self-defense or train in firearm safety, dirt medicine, you should be following this show. And they have an extra show. They have a Patreon where you can get an extra show a month. They do a Facebook Live every Monday. But I love these guys, and I try to train with them at least once a year when I'm down in Arizona. They're down in Arizona, but they travel all over the country doing training sessions and whatnot. So I would strongly encourage you to check them out. That's this week's The Arms Room Show, shooting and training by yourself. All right, next up. Let me see. What else we got here? I lost my place. All right, here we go. Next up, we have Not Your Average Operator. Strap in. This one was another awesome episode. The team sits down with Dr. Erin Donnelly. She is a licensed psychologist and reproductive sexologist who is currently in private practice. She's a former NFL cheerleader. She used to cheer for the St. Louis Rams when they were in St. Louis. She's toured the world supporting our troops. She's graduated from St. Louis University with a psychology, biology, and French degree. She's earned her master's and her doctorates in clinical psychology. She's earned an additional master's degree in human sexuality at the Center of Human Sexuality Studies. She's completed her postdoctoral fellowship in the Department of OBGYN at the University of Kansas Medical Center. She's a former director of training at the University of Pittsburgh Counseling Center. She continues to serve the American Psychological Association as a site visitor. And she's got a slew of what do I want to say, not certificates, licenses and whatnot. But Erin, her purpose is to help people foster safety, heal, enhance their relationships, and breathe more easily day to day in order to find the greatest sense of holistic balance, meaning, and fulfillment in one's life. This is an awesome interview. Check it out. It was, again, it's one of those where, like, the guys located in different parts of the world come together each week and they're pumping out content and they get a guest like this. Truly, truly awesome episode. So check that out. That's this week's Not Your Average Operator. All right. Another awesome episode that was actually pretty excited about this week that I saw is the Military Millionaire podcast. You can follow them on social media, From Military to Millionaire. This week they have guest Neil Walgren, and they talk about how he made money work for him. Let me say that again, how he made money work for him. the gates of raising money and the many tactics he uses as a seasoned capital raiser. He's also was a commissioned officer and pilot in the U.S. Air Force and the Navy. Thank you, Neil, for your service. Again, if you're looking to invest or you want to, get into real estate and stuff like that, this is a show that you should be following. They got a ton of great hosts, a ton of great guests each week, talking about how they make money through real estate and investments and stuff like that. So it's a really great episode. Check this out. That's this week's The Military Millionaire Podcast. All right, next up. Let me see. Thanks, Deanna. Deanna, I hope to see you next week because we'll be talking about you here real soon next week. All right, next up we have Time to Shine Today with Scott Ferguson. Fergie down in Florida. I love you, man. This week he's got a couple of episodes. The ones that really hit me are You Are a Gift, Choose to Thrive. And the next one is Defining Your Life's Purpose. That one really hits hard with me on that one. So check that out. That's this week's Time to Shine Today with Scott Ferguson. He's always pumping out a ton of great guests and a lot of good content. So check that out. Time to Shine Today with Scott Ferguson. Let me see here. Shoot. Not Your Average Operator. I can only imagine who's monitoring this account. So last week it was 25 push-ups for the bow tie, and I have yet to post that, but the day's not over with. Yeah, well, we'll figure out how the bow tie is going to attempt 25 push-ups. I don't have to have the bow tie on, right? Never mind. Don't answer that. Next up, we got the Power of Investing in People podcast with our girl, Shay Sparks. This week, from National Guard to becoming a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, Erica King shares her journey to receive her doctorate while facing the challenges that couples with dual enlistment experience. You're able to get a lot of laughs in this one. It was hysterical. Great content. And they share about leadership challenges and the under-asked questions in the military. So check that out. That's this week's The Power of Investing in People podcast with our girl, Shay Sparks. Let me see here. What do we have here? You guys are telling you. What is this? Yes, you did. Yeah, you guys aren't right. All right. I'm just pretend I didn't see those. Next up, we got Veterans Unite. Got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Got your 6 at 6. They always have a ton of great guests on there. So if you need something to do on a Sunday night, I strongly encourage you to check out all the great guests that these two organizations have there. That's Veterans Unite and the People's Patriot Project. Patriot Pride. Mark, I know you're going to say that eventually, buddy, when you're on here. So love you guys over there. Keep up the great work. All right, stay with me, guys, because we have 2 more, and then I got a couple of things I want to talk about afterward. The next show for this week was the Decision Hour, and the topic, that's with yours truly, the topic this week, protecting freedoms. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. Protecting freedoms. That was this week's topic. And when you listen to this week's Decision Hour, I want you to ask yourself, do you really believe what mainstream media is telling you? 1. 2, do you trust the politicians that are currently in office? And are you willing to give up the freedoms that you have? I know some of you out there that'll watch this later on will probably have a lot to say. Are you willing to give up your freedoms? Are you willing to give up your freedoms? So take a listen, because this episode here, we sit down with Special Forces veteran and the founder of First Amendment Praetorian, Mr. Robert Patrick Lewis. Rob has been a longtime friend. He's no stranger to the show, and he's no stranger to Heroes Media Group. But we sit down. So what is the First Amendment Praetorian? It is a nonprofit made up of military, law enforcement, and intelligence community veterans, both male and female. And they're providing intelligence and security services to grassroots events in order to ensure Americans may express their First Amendment protected rights to the freedom of speech, religion, assembly, and political affiliation. We talk about a lot of things in this episode, folks. We talk about a lot of things in this episode. Things that are going on in the country right now, how things are supposed to be done in accordance to our nation's Constitution. We talk about, we ask the question, how much do you really know about the Constitution? Our system is supposed to be a federalist society. States, right? States' rights overpower the federal government. Federal government has very small number of things they're supposed to do. End quote from Rob. So take a listen and find out actual facts. This isn't an episode where we're not pushing one narrative or another narrative or anything like that. These are straight up facts that are going on through information that's not being told on the mainstream media to people. And they're facts that other organizations, three-letter agencies and stuff, they all have this information. You're just not hearing about it. We talk about some of those things and what to look for. All right. So it's time to take a stand. It's time to get involved, and it's time to protect our freedoms. So check that out. Protecting Freedoms. That's this week's The Decision Hour. Check it out. All right. Last, certainly not least, for shows at least this week, we have Broken and Blessed. This week's Broken and Blessed show, we talk about private purity. This is another. I didn't know what I was getting myself into talking about this particular topic, and this is probably one of our longer shows that James and myself has done. Private purity. What do you do in private, and how that could empower you in public? And this is one of those, like, it's kind of like I don't know how to say this. We talk about what you do in private. Let me see here. What we do in our own private lives has a huge impact on how we look and what we do out in public. You guys agree? I'm curious. If you agree, let me know either way. That's this week's Broken and Blessed, private purity. And I think this one here, it gets a little heated because we end up talking about like music that you listen to and stuff. And it was just an interesting conversation about music and the things that you do in private. And it's really one that you got to check out. It's definitely, it gets you thinking, like, and we were talking about music, like the type of music you listen to in private, how that portrays to the public or what you look like in public and stuff like that. Anyway, you got to check that out. That's this week's Broken and Blessed. Great episode. Had a lot of fun doing it. So check that out. Next up, that's all we have for the shows, but there's a couple of things I want to discuss real quick, and I know everybody's got to get going. How many of you, I posted this yesterday. Did you see the new Dave Bray USA music video called Better Man? If you haven't, do yourself a favor and watch it. Scroll through. It's on the HMG Facebook page under this. You got to check that out. The new Dave Bray USA music video called Better Man. Let me tell you something. It's a perfect time for this video to come out, and if it doesn't pull on your heartstrings a little bit, it makes me kind of wonder, like, are you even human? I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it because it kind of gets to you. It definitely pulls on the heartstrings, and it gets to you. So if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. Dave's a close friend of mine. Literally was talking to him this morning. He's got it's just you got to watch it. Dave Bray USA new music video, Better Man. Check it out. What do we got here? Tony Tony Abroscato. Tony Abroscato. I think that's how you pronounce his name. What's up, T? How you doing, brother? It's been a long time. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Good morning. Tony, yeah. Tony, like, am I right? Tony is like yeah, he is. He is amazing. Dave's amazing, and it's such a solid dude. Love him to death. So check that out, Better Man. Great song. Let me see here. All right. Last, certainly not least, there's two things that I want to talk about real quick. HMG coffee. Y'all know we've talked about it. I'm gonna give away a bag of coffee next week. You got a comment in here that I want coffee. I'm gonna pick a random person. Go on the HMG. First, you got to go to HMG Beverage on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, go like the page, follow us there. Leave a comment here. I want coffee. And I'll pick a random winner next week. We'll get in touch with you and I'll let you pick out which blend you want, and I'll send that to you, okay? The other thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick, HMG Coffee, we have a monthly membership. If you sign up for our monthly membership, you get 10% off when you sign up. 10% off when you sign up for the HMG Beverage, HMG Coffee's monthly membership. So check that out. And of course, I would not be here if it wasn't for our sponsors. I got to give a shout out to Short Mountain Distillery. We got a lot of very tasty things coming, hopefully here in the next 45, 50 days. I've kind of teased you a little bit about what's coming. Go follow Short Mountain Distillery. It's amazing. Rick's Roasters Coffee, that's our roaster that we work with. Eric and the entire crew down there, Judy, everybody down there, absolutely love them. Simper Savage, oh my God, you got to be, if you're not following Simper Savage on Instagram, you got to be following. They do a lot of cool videos, and more importantly, go try out their dressings and marinades. They got some new ones that just came out. Go check that out. Digital Trigger, thank you very much for being a part of us. Attica Systems, of course, HMG Beverage, Heroes Garden, as well as JB Auto Clothers. Holy cow, I can't talk this morning. So yes, check all of those out. What do we got here? Judy wants coffee. All right. Tiny K-Cups, I'm working on it. Hit me up, message me, and I'll tell you what we're doing with that. But you also have it works great with a French press. So if you want it, hit it, leave a comment. I want coffee. That's all we have this week for the weekly wrap-up. Let me say this before I go. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your support. Thank you, God, for sending his son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross for our sins. I hope you all have a very, very blessed Friday and a very, very blessed Easter weekend. Next week, I'm going to be live from Arizona. So you don't want to miss that because the scenery is going to be a lot different. And I got some stuff that we're going to be doing down there. So make sure you tune in next week as well. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter to you all. We'll see you next week.